Oh, man. Right, hello everyone, this is Dan, we're on the Clacka Chronicles podcast. I've got Mr. L with me. Hello, how you doing?
Hey, doing okay, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, life's alright, I think, at the moment. Yeah. We got a long weekend in the UK, well we got 2 long weekends, because Charlie's having his coronation, isn't he?
Yeah, I get both these days off, so that's a win for me.
Can't be complaining there, so pretty good. But yeah, so what we're going to do is, me and Mr. L, we're going to record a couple of podcasts. We're going to record this one, which is like a general chat, a bit like the one we did way back when, you know, like, what was it, March 21? Something like that.
Something like
the old podcast that we did way back when, and then we're also going to do a podcast on the Mario movie that came out, because obviously you're a big Mario fan, I'm more of a casual fan, but I don't know what's going to go up first. I think the Mario movie one will go up first, but this is the first one we're recording. I genuinely don't know what we're doing, so we're just gonna hit record and see what comes out of our mouths. So let's chat about, what should we chat about? I've just got a picture of Nick Cage just staring into my soul.
Alright, let's talk Nick Cage.
Yeah, the thing is, I knew, because you always say Nick Cage, you always talk about how Nick Cage is one of your favourite actors and whatnot, so I thought he's going to come up, so I just had that as a placeholder image.
Yeah, I'm on a bit of a challenge this year, because last year I did 116 movies, and that's all great, but this year I'm never going to get as many in, because I work. So my goal was watch as many Nick Cage as I can and find what the absolute worst Nick Cage is.
Oh dear. What? Okay. What's your worst Nick Cage film so far? Let's have a.
That's the thing, is that like my worst Nick Cage movie is probably just that like it was just kind of bland. It was this movie called Knowing. It gets like.
Is that the one about the world ending?
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of that one.
I was jet lagged when I watched it, because I got home from Florida and watched it like the other week, and it was alright, but Cage wasn't cagey enough for my liking. He was just like, it could have been anybody in that film.
Yeah, I have heard of that one. Yeah.
It was alright, but like, I mean, because like some of those movies he's done that genuinely get bad reviews, I really enjoy, like The Wicker Man.
Oh, the remake of it, yeah.
Yeah, you know that scene.
Not the bees.
No, not the bees. Not the bees. My eyes, they're in my eyes. And they're just not in his eyes.
It's absolutely comedy gold, that is.
Imagine my disappointment when that scene wasn't in the movie.
Oh.
It's a deleted scene from the unrated cut, and I watched the PG because that was the free version on Prime.
Is that? Oh my god, it's actually.
It's a deleted scene. It's not even an actual movie scene.
I did.
It's somehow more famous than the whole movie.
I mean, that kind of tells you what you need to know. But
there's a lot of gold. There's a lot of gold in that movie, though. Like, if you take it for what it's meant to be, which is a dark comedy, not a horror. Like, it's supposed to be funny, but people act like it isn't. It is quite enjoyable. Like, there's just this one scene where he's just screaming how to get burned to this woman, because there's just this doll that's burned for some reason, and it's just unhinged Cage. And then, like, 10 minutes later, Cage is dressed as the bear and starts punching women in the face.
Oh, all right, okay.
This is what we're dealing with.
What is it? Cocaine Bear?
Cocaine Bear gonna seem insane in comparison.
Oh man. So let's have a look at what are some of the better Nick Cage films, like some of the good ones.
All right, man. I mean, obviously the obvious good ones are Con Air, Face Off, and The Rock.
Oh yeah, I really want to.
Holy trinity of action.
Oh yeah, from like the 90s. Yeah.
I watched The Rock again recently and really enjoyed it. I'd say it's almost as good as Die Hard.
Oh my god! I really want to watch The Rock purely because Sean Connery's in it, and obviously Bond. And
yeah,
I've heard the theory that The Rock is like his version of Bond, but years down the line. And I will watch The Rock.
So many of the dates of his character in the movie line up with the years Bond movies were released.
Yeah, like
it could be possible.
I have seen that theory, so I will check that out. But
it is a plausible theory.
There is a Nick Cage film I do want to talk about, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I haven't seen.
Oh, that's my favourite Nick Cage movie, straight up. The role was perfect for him because he plays himself.
The thing is,
it's so good.
The thing is, I've been seeing that Pedro Pascal meme from it where it's his face and he's laughing.
Yeah.
I've just been seeing that meme just pop up everywhere recently, and literally everyone that I know at school just basically simps for him. So.
Oh, right, yeah.
Everybody.
Because of the Mandalorian or because of The Last of Us?
I think I think it's because of The Last of Us, to be honest.
The Last of Us was pretty good, actually. You know, I haven't played the game, but the series was good.
I haven't seen The Last of Us. Not yet.
Fair enough.
But I have obviously. I have seen obviously Mandalorian. I saw obviously seasons 1 and 2, and I started series 3, but the first episode of Mando series 3 I thought was a bit.
Yeah, I finished series 3. I thought it was okay. The final episode was quite good, but the problem was that the storyline Jon Favreau wanted to do for Mando season 3, they shoehorned into Book of Boba Fett. So then Favreau didn't have a story for season 3.
Yeah.
So he was upset. Pascal was upset. Everyone was upset, and it just didn't matter.
Yeah, that first episode of series 3, it was like a bit sort of. It just felt sort of like padding a bit. I don't know. I wasn't mad on it.
Yeah. Jack Black was in one of the episodes.
Oh yeah, wasn't Christopher Lloyd? You know, Doc Brown. Wasn't he in?
Same episode, yeah.
I was gonna say, wasn't he?
Yeah, they were both really good actually. They were both pretty good.
Yeah, I will get around to finishing it, but it didn't. Yeah, the opener of series 3 didn't. It wasn't nearly as good as the first two, but yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Also, back onto the Nick Cage films though. Ironically, I just realised the only one that I think I've seen is Spider-Verse. You know, Into the Spider-Verse, because he's the noir Spider-Man, isn't he?
Yeah, I saw it again the other day actually. Spider-Verse. Yeah, he's Spider-Man noir.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
He is quite funny. I adore Spider-Verse. That's honestly probably my favourite comic book movie. Period. Probably.
Old opinion.
I might change my.
I feel like Spider-Verse is a bit overrated, honestly. I feel like...
Right, get off this podcast. Get off this damn podcast.
no, it's alright, but like... I just, like... Spider-Man 2 exists.
Spider-Man 2
is peak Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2 is fantastic. I'm not going to deny that. That's probably the best of the Raimi trilogy, you know. But I don't...
But what was the... Like, the first one was alright, but the third one...
Mate, it's a comedy masterpiece. It's like The Wicker Man. Spider-Man 3 is a comedy, and it is amazing.
We're comparing Bully Maguire to The Wicker Man now.
I mean, they were both like mid-noughties movies, so, you know, I mean, maybe that was the thing in the mid-2000s, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's funny how Sony had Bully Maguire do his dance in Spider-Man 3 for 20 years later. You know what would be a funny idea? Milo and Morbius.
Oh.
Sony made another character do a bad dance together. And everyone, like, what's going on? Learn from your mistakes. Like, I watched Morbius twice for some reason.
Why did you watch it twice?
Because it's Morbin time.
God's sake. I watched it. I don't know if you...
limited.
I don't know if you saw. I watched it in February. It was terrible, man.
It wasn't as bad as I was expecting, because I heard it was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like, the villain carried no weight. I don't know how Milo was doing in this movie.
To be perfectly honest, I thought he was the best part of the film, because at least because it's Matt Smith. Because he's obviously Doctor Who and he's my favourite Doctor.
Yeah.
Like, I'm kind of maybe a bit biased, but I did enjoy his performance. He did seem like he cared and put a bit of energy.
You know, you can tell he had fun with it.
Yeah, and I will always say, I prefer, even if it's a bit like campy and stupid, if it looks like the actor's having fun, I will take that over an actor who's just, you know, sleepwalking the film, pretty much.
Jared Leto.
My God, like, oh my God, that film is
Jared Leto somehow is the worst, like, in both Marvel and DC now.
Oh, don't get me started on the Suicide Squad. Just, the 2016. Don't get me started on that one. I'm just not.
Yeah, no, I watched it again last year. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
The Suicide Squad is really good, though.
Yeah, I do really love the Suicide Squad, the James Gunn one. But
and the Peacemaker series. Well, the opening intro for that series is iconic. Honestly.
I will give you that. I haven't seen it, but I've seen the intro. And it's pretty funky.
It's pretty fun. I mean, you know, John Cena doing his thing.
Yeah.
And it's good. Like, when does James Gunn make bad movies? Never. So there you go.
That's true. Speaking of James Gunn movies, we got Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming out.
I'm excited.
Soon.
I'm very excited.
I've been very.
Good Marvel movie in a while.
Hey, sorry.
I feel like it's gonna be the first good Marvel movie in a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been very not a fan of Marvel's recent like Phase 4 stuff. I mean, Like, Black Widow was mediocre, Shang-Chi was decent, but honestly, I've not thought about it that much. Eternals was an absolute snore fest.
It was longer than it needed to be, honest.
It was such a snore fest. No Way Home was excellent.
No Way Home was excellent, yeah, but it was mostly fan service, and you kind of knew what was going to happen. You knew that the other Spider-Man were coming.
Yeah, it's kind of...
That's the only issue. If they managed to keep it a secret, they would have been better.
Yeah, I think, The Multiverse of Madness had some great elements to it, but also had a really poor script, in my opinion.
I love Multiverse of Madness. I thought it was really fun.
That's fair,
I quite liked John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. I kind of wish they'd stick with him, but I feel like it won't happen now for Fantastic Four.
Probably
Might
not.
be Adam Driver now, apparently.
Oh my god, Adam Driver.
Kylo Ren is Mr. Fantastic.
Bloody hell. But yeah, I thought...
I don't even want to talk about the sequel trilogy of Star Wars.
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Multiverse of Madness was had great elements, I thought, but had some very poor elements, in my opinion. But overall, it's one of the better ones from Phase 4. And then
it's one of the ones where if you haven't seen WandaVision, you have no idea what the hell is going on.
Oh yeah. What else was there? Thor: Love and Thunder was just... Jesus Christ, that was bad.
Here's the thing. I really liked it.
I mean, I know. Yeah, you quite liked it.
I really liked it. There was a lot of stuff there that was good, but it just went a little over with the comedy.
That's putting it mildly, 007.
I mean, just a little over, just a couple of goats over.
Just a little bit, yeah. A great villain though. Like Christian Bale was really good as the villain.
That's the thing. We needed more of Christian Bale's gore. We needed more scenes with him. And I honestly, he didn't kill enough gods on the screen. He killed one god on the screen in self-defense.
And then what was next? Wakanda Forever. I'll be honest, I quite like Wakanda Forever. I thought...
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah,
probably the best written movie of Phase 4.
I probably agree with you actually there. And then I haven't seen
The thing I think is that I get why they did it, but I didn't really fully appreciate the way they did T'Challa's death.
Mm-hmm.
I know they wanted to keep it close to what kind of happened in real life, but then just dying suddenly and no one being able to do anything about it. But I feel like the character of Black Panther is the kind of character that would die in a battle, but they could have CGI'd him in, or have someone in his suit, you wouldn't have to show his face, and have him die in a battle, because that's kind of more Black Panther, I think.
I can understand that, but I think the way they did it was very sort of impactful and one of the most mature scenes. Like that opening of Wakanda Forever is one of the most sort of mature scenes of the entire MCU, I think.
Yeah, I feel like it was really nice when they did. It worked quite well, but I didn't feel like it was really in character for T'Challa to just suddenly die like that. Because if you think about Wakanda, they've got all this technology and advanced medicine that no one else has. Surely, what would be able to kill Black Panther that they wouldn't have been able to stop in time? It just all the pieces don't really add up for me.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I think knowing the context of obviously, they were dealt.
Knowing the context,
they were dealt such a bad hand. They had to do it.
They really were.
Yeah.
But I feel like Black Panther's gonna be one of the main characters of Marvel going forward. One of the main new Avengers. If you hadn't have died, so it's really unfortunate for them.
Mm-hmm. I mean.
Yeah, it was very shocking. It just came out of nowhere. But at least he did get to come back for Endgame, though.
That is very true. But
at least we did just get that.
Yeah, and then obviously we have there's also Quantum Mania, which I've just not seen.
Mode up. Quantum Mania. Quantum Mania is not a good movie, but it is really fun.
Yeah.
It's not well written at all. It really messes up Kang's character. Just the ending. I don't know, how in depth you want me to go if you haven't seen it, spoiler wise.
I haven't seen it, but go for it.
But they kind of they make this point about the fact that this version of Kang the Conqueror, has killed thousands of Avengers across different timelines, and he's defeated by Ant-Man and the Wasp. That doesn't add up.
Great. I mean, great screenwriting there. Amazing screenwriting.
They built him up, and then he got overrun by a horde of ants, and then died against Ant-Man and the Wasp. He got overrun by a horde of giant ants, and MODOK running in yelling, "I am not a dick."
Mate, what are the critics saying? This sounds like the best movie ever made.
It's really fun, though. It's really fun. The thing is, it's very Star Warsy. There's even a cantina scene.
Oh my
with
god!
aliens. It's
Jesus Christ!
Like, because in the quantum realm, we've got all these different, like, beings and aliens, and, like, it just, yeah, it's got those vibes. It's like Star Wars, but more colourful.
Oh, yeah.
But it is quite nice to look at visually. It's quite nice. There are some strange choices in there. Like, I don't know what... I feel like they wasted Bill Murray.
Oh, yeah, he's in it, isn't he?
They wasted Bill Murray.
We don't do that. That's a shame.
They absolutely wasted him. Like, that's not how you treat people.
But yeah, Guardians 3's coming out. I'll be honest though, I do have hope for it because I think. Did you see the Guardians holiday special?
Yes, that was the best thing in Phase 4. Man, that was good.
I actually, honestly, I legit really enjoyed that, and I have hope, and also because I do love these characters, I think I have hope. I do have hope that it will be a solid film and a solid like conclusion to this trilogy. So.
Yeah, I mean, I full-heartedly trust James Gunn to make this a good movie. The cast is good. We know the characters. It's not like they're trying to bring in all these new ones like a lot of Phase 4 movies were. Like, I gotta ask, where were the Eternals when Thanos came? Why didn't they get involved and stop Thanos? Like, but yeah, they brought in all these new characters and everything. It's like, well, we don't really care about them at the moment. We just killed the best characters that we have.
I don't.
Like, I don't think we're still over the Iron Man thing yet. Because like, man,
I don't know. I really don't know what's gonna happen.
But at least like Spider-Man's been like consistent. Like that's what we can rely on.
True. Yeah. We can.
Spider-Man.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Speaking of like Nick Cage, going back to Nick Cage, you want to mention his new film Renfield, don't you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna advertise his new film, Ren.
You
Renfield,
shill.
yes.
You're such a shill. You're such a corporate shill, you are.
But yeah, no, Renfield. So Nick Cage plays Count Dracula, which initially first brings to mind memories of The Vampire's Kiss, where he runs down the street screaming, I'm a vampire! But he does really good in this movie. His Dracula is probably the best feature of it. And the movie itself is really fun. It's got quite a good cast. It's got Nick Cage, Nicholas Hoult,
two Nicks,
and Ben Schwartz, who was Sonic in the Sonic Hedgehog movies. Yeah, so it's quite a decent cast. It's very violent. It's like Mortal Kombat level stuff going on here. Very bloody, but you'd expect blood. It's a movie about a vampire.
I mean, you know.
And a lot of fun action in it. Story's pretty decent. The only issue is that like they clearly cut a scene out of it for like just cutting it down on runtime, which doesn't make sense. It's only 90 minutes, but like they cut a scene out and it loses a bit of context there. But other than that, it's really fun, honestly.
That was honestly one of my problems with Morbius because of how it was edited. It felt very choppy. Like the plot just didn't.
Yeah, they cut out the scene where he says it's Morbin time and he morbs.
God's sake, man!
If they left that in, definitely would have hit that more $1 billion.
Oh, absolutely! It would have got more billion% on Rotten.
More billion on Rotten Tomatoes.
On Letterboxd, it would have got more billion stars. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta tell you about this Nick Cage movie I saw. It's absolutely insane. Like, Wicker Man seems normal by comparison. Have you heard of Willy's Wonderland?
Yes, I have heard of Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland. So Nick Cage, like, I think the only thing possibly more deranged than Nick Cage is Nick Cage with no dialogue.
How is that possible?
Willy's Wonderland.
He
doesn't speak. So basically what happens is he rolls into town in this really expensive car and he gets a flat tire. He has no money on him for some reason. He only has a credit card and town doesn't pay credit cards. So they say, hey, if you work at this place overnight, clean it up, we'll fix your car for you for free. The place is Willy's Wonderland. So he goes in, he works as a janitor there. And the plot is basically haunted animatronics are trying to kill him. And it's insane. Like, I don't want to spoil too much about the movie, but I have to talk about the scene. The funniest part for me was the fight against the gorilla animatronic in the bathrooms.
Hey, sorry, where did this come from? Where did this come from?
I know, right? So this animatronic gorilla bursts out of a bathroom stool and attacks him. And the fight ends with Nick Cage attacking the gorilla with a plunger. And then Nick Cage curb stomps the gorilla on a urinal.
Did I dream that?
It's the funniest thing. Oh my god. It is genuinely.
Now, before we... So that was an odd tangent about Willy's Wonderland. Yeah. I just remembered, actually, you said that you wanted to talk about No Time to Die, the recent Bond film, because obviously you said that you watched it recently, and obviously I did my retrospective, review of it, which you can check out by clicking the link in the description.
Call me, I haven't watched it yet. I'm a bit preoccupied. But I'll definitely... It's on my watch list.
It's alright. But yeah, I'm actually quite... To be fair, I'm quite proud of that video. But so obviously I'm die-hard Bond fan, and Mr. L, you're more of a casual fan. You've seen that, and haven't you seen Spectre? I think you said you...
I saw Spectre, and I think apparently I saw the one before it, but I have no memory of that.
What, Skyfall?
Yeah.
Okay. I love Skyfall. It's one of my favourites, that one, and it's one of the... Yeah, but I mean, Spectre is probably my least favourite Bond film, in all honesty.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it, but I don't remember being, overly memorable to me or anything.
Yeah, I cannot stand Spectre. I think it's just rubbish.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it's sort of...
But yeah, No Time to Die, so we had this on a recorded list for ages, and we were like, okay, let's try watching it. Because it's a long movie.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours-ish.
Yeah, so we had to get a night where we actually had 3 hours, because half the time I don't get home till 7, so I've only got 3 hours.
Yeah, so it's like you got to have your tea and all that. But with No Time to Die, what I found very interesting is I know a lot of sort of casual viewers of it who kind of, because you told me that you didn't fully kind of get the plot, and
it might have been views, but I didn't fully understand mostly the villain's motive. Why is he doing what he's doing? I didn't click with all of it. It was a bit hard to follow what the point was of why he wanted to just use this chemical warfare thingy on everybody. It's
genuinely, as a avid Bond fan, that was lost on me too. Saffin's motivation is that's not my main critique, but that is a main critique that I have of it. And my biggest issue with the film is the very end, but we'll get to that maybe in a bit. But yeah, the motivation, it starts off initially as he wants revenge. It's simple, but it
works. That's why there's so many movies that does that he just wants revenge, because it works. That's a good motive.
But then they have to get the sort of personal connection with Madeline, and it's I don't get why he's obsessed with her. Just because he encountered her when she was a kid, I don't get it. It's not clear. And then why in the final act, why is he obsessed with Bond? Why? Oh, we're both similar men. No, you're not. What? I don't get it. It just...
Yeah, I didn't fully get it. I mean, nothing on Rami Malek. He's a decent actor, but and he does best to come with the script, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get it. I didn't get it with him.
Yeah, neither did I. I mean, I mentioned it in my review, but I wasn't too keen on his performance in the film. I found it more kind of weird than anything, and not in a good way. Just I didn't know how to feel. I just didn't. It didn't get it personally. But to be honest, I'll be honest though. A lot of No Time to Die, I love a lot of elements of it. I think for a lot of it, I just had a lot of fun because the action is so fun, and the colours and the direction and the filmmaking and the performances. Because the Daniel Craig films tend to be so self-serious, that it was nice to see one that had a bit more humour and a bit more fun, like the old 60s and 70s, and the older Bond films. I know you're not a massive Bond fan, but Roger Moore, who was Bond during the 70s and 80s, he's my favourite, and his is probably the most campy era, but that's my favourite just because it's fun. Bond is always Bond is a fantasy, so just embrace it. That's why Yeah,
most other spy films don't just be fully serious. They've always got a little bit of comedy.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. People don't want to be sort of just feeling down. They want to have a good time, and And I think I take
Austin Powers stuff. That's why I love Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of the elements from Bond, but then just wraps the comedy up to 10, 11 or something.
Yeah, I do like the Austin Powers. I don't like the third one personally, but I do enjoy the first two enough. Yeah.
The second one's definitely the best one.
I agree with that.
Second one's really good.
Yeah.
Have you seen that deepfake of Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dr. Evil?
I have not. I've not seen that. I have not.
So there's this kind of new trend going around of Arnold Schwarzenegger deepfakes. It's the funniest thing in the world. They've done him in as the main girl from Titanic. They've done him in The Sound of Music.
I think I've seen the Titanic. I think I've seen the Titanic one.
It ends with "Look at my boobies, Jack."
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. The Sound of Music one's really funny as well. Yeah, that one's definitely worth a watch at some point. But yeah, the one of him as Dr. Evil and Mini-Me is really funny.
Please tell me there's one of him. You know, what's the film we did with Danny DeVito? Twins.
Twins.
Please
There's one of him as both twins.
Please tell me there's one of that, because...
Yeah, there is. There is, yeah. I'll have to send you a link to that in a bit. But yeah,
that's amazing. That would be amazing.
So you want to talk about the ending with No Time to Die? You mentioned that.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did mention that. Obviously, if you want my full thoughts on the ending, you can check out my my video on it. But what did you think of the ending? Because you're not an avid Bond fan. What did you think of him getting offed?
See, I feel like that has more of an impact on the people who've watched all of his Bond movies. Because a lot of people have grown with this Bond because the span of his movies. But for me, it was well, I thought it was quite a good ending, but it did I feel like it would have hit harder for Bond fans maybe, or maybe they would have maybe even disliked what they did.
I think it really.
But I thought it was quite good. So, from a standalone view of this is the only movie I remember watching of the Bond movies.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was quite a decent ending, and you could tell things about 3 minutes before it happened, you could see what was going on. It's oh, damn, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I thought it was quite a decent ending. I was okay with it.
I think I think a lot of casual viewers, I think you would probably maybe like it, but Bond fans it's a very divisive, and a lot of people think, it's a great end to Daniel Craig. It's sort of very emotionally satisfying. Other people find a lot of plot holes in it and find that it's not satisfying at all. I'm in the latter camp. I despise it. I think because first of all, I found I was looking at it because it is this big plot point. You've got to make it count. And the thing is, I was finding so many different sort of plot holes. And it's well, why are the nanobots eternal? Oh, they're just eternal. They don't... why are they eternal? Why can't you get rid of them? You just can't. You just can't. They don't explain why you can't. They just make you assume that, you'll just go along with it. And it's well, if you're going to do something as big as Bond dying, you've got to justify it. And it just doesn't for me. So... yeah. Again, if you want my full thoughts, you can check out that other video. But personally, I just find it really unsatisfying. And also, I think as well because, as I said, Bond is is the ultimate fantasy. You want to feel good after watching a Bond film, and that just doesn't give you a feel good ending. And I tell you what, actually, Top Gun Maverick, another big action blockbuster film.
Top Gun Maverick is good.
With, these emotional moments, with Maverick and Rooster, the emotional sort of hurts of the past. But it's still, they still come out on top, and they still, they win the day. And I can't... I'm telling you, Top Gun Maverick is probably the best cinema experience I've had in a while.
Oh, wow, okay.
In a good few years. Because I can't tell you how happy I felt after watching that film, because it's such a feel-good film. And I think after the past few years we've had, I don't think people want to go to the cinema to feel down. I think we just want to have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everything has to be dumb. I'm not saying everything has to be sort of dumbed down so it's everything's so happy and cheesy, but you want to feel good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not, obviously I also advocate for having, good writing and characters and whatnot. I think that's always important to have.
Obviously dark endings work well. Look at Infinity War, for example. That was the ultimate bad ending.
Yeah, but
in terms of for the characters.
But it feels earned.
That was the ultimate good thing.
It feels earned.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Infinity War was the best way to do a dark ending for a movie.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, another film that kind of a proper feel good film, but also has the emotional darkness. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh right, I knew we were going to get here eventually.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it up when we mentioned Spider-Verse, but I will mention it now. But I absolutely adored Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I think it was Again, I'm not one to give 10s always, and especially for very recent films, I'm not one to give 10s immediately, but I was I got to give that a 10 because I absolutely adored Last Wish.
Yeah, I gave it 8. The only things I've ever given 10 to is Infinity War and Endgame. So, like, that's my 10. Nothing else is in a 10 for me.
That's
but, like, so like, that's fair enough. That's its own category. And maybe, like, Avengers Secret War might get there if it's good. I kind of lost hope with Kang Dynasty after Quantumania.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I gave Puss in Boots an 8 on IMDb. I review all the movies I watched this year on IMDb.
I do it on Letterboxd.
Yeah. So like, I thought it was really good. Like, firstly, like, just the animation's amazing.
It definitely
really
it took a page out of Spider-Verse's book, didn't it?
Definitely, yeah. You could tell it took a page out of it. But I actually found it more like nicer to look at than Spider-Verse. At times, I found Spider-Verse like is a little too much with the visuals, and like some of the effects didn't quite work. Especially when I watched it in 3D, like it just kind of, you know. But like Puss in Boots was like really clean and really nice animation.
Yeah, and honestly, I can't go back to the old version, like, you know, from the older films, like, because the design is a bit different, obviously, because the animation's different. I just can't go back to the old design because the new one looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like this film did really good with its villains as well, like having like 3 different ones, but all really different.
Yeah, Death absolutely terrified me.
I'm so scared because I was watching 2 films that day, and so between them, I walked down the corridor where all the cinema screens are to go to the back room, and I could just hear the death whistle coming from another screen, and I was like, "Holy!"
Oh my god! That...
But, you know, when you hear that, you just fear for your life, honestly.
That was
like nobody else was in the hallway; it was just me, and I could just hear from this other screen, just this whistle coming through.
That is an experience right there. But
see, Death was a cool villain, but I've got an issue with that. Predictable. You see, the moment he made the point that Puss in Boots kind of carelessly threw away his first 8 lives and didn't appreciate his life, you knew exactly how it was going to end. Puss in Boots appreciates his life. He can't kill Death because you can't kill Death. That's just the rule of Death. And Death can't win because it's a children's movie. You're not going to kill off Puss in Boots. So it was obviously going to have to be Death concedes. Like, it was just the obvious outcome.
But to me,
that's my own...
I mean, that's understandable, but I think for me, I think it's more the how Puss learns to appreciate what he has, rather than... It's kind of learning how, not what, because, yes, that is fair, it is kind of predictable in that sense, but how does he learn to appreciate it? And I'm telling you, Perito is just... he's funny, but also the bit when... the anxiety attack scene is genuinely... It honestly tears me up. It's just a... It's so sensitively handled, and I just think it's so beautiful.
It was quite interesting having this movie like that's like aimed for like family friendly, having like these scenes about anxiety and PTSD and whatnot, trying to like get across like with Burrito and Puss in Boots what it's like for someone to go through that. So I feel like anxiety is kind of one of those things like more people are getting now.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's quite good to see that translated into movies and whatever. And this movie did a good job with representing it.
Absolutely, I think it's so like carefully handled. It's not sort of. Yeah, I just think it's just perfectly handled. I think that is why, yes, admittedly, it's quite a simple story, but I think it's the how that really elevates it as to... It's the journey. Yeah, it's the journey.
Yeah.
I think that's really why. And also, you've got the Goldilocks family, who I think their journey is really interesting as well. And
yes, but again, predictable in my opinion, because I knew that she wasn't going to try and get the wish to get a real family, and that she would save the bears. Like, as soon as they got to the home and they realised, oh, she wanted a real family, I was like, she's going to save the bears. It's kind of obvious. She's going to make sure that she's going to realise that the bears are a real family.
Yeah.
Like, I figured it out straight away at that point. But, like, it was about the journey, but, like, you knew the ending.
I think that's understandable, but I think, for me, I think it's because of the how it's so good, I think, yeah. But, I mean, DreamWorks...
The winner of the villains for me is Jack Horner.
You're an irredeemable monster! Oh, what took you so long, idiot?
the dynamic between Jack Horner and the ethical bug was so fun.
I love the Jimmy Stewart voice that that Jiminy Cricket puts on.
Yeah,
you're not. Like... The amount of times I've quoted Jack that you're not going to shoot a puppy, are you? Yeah, in the face. Why? It's so funny.
The thing is, I would have liked to have seen Jack Horner actually get his wish and just go God mode on everybody.
Yeah, but you know what else I like? I like the fact that we had a, traditional kind of just irredeemable monster villain. Like, what?
Yeah.
Stop with these bloody twist villains, or if you're gonna do it, do it right. What is wrong with having a simple bad guy that you can boo and piss at? What's wrong with that now and again?
Exactly. Like, I like villains that have deep deep backstories to why they're villains. I like villains that occasionally twist villains, but sometimes just irredeemable villain works.
Variety is the spice.
They gave you enough backstory to qualify why he'd be a villain. With the whole fact of I won't like the other people more than him. Oh, I hate everybody. Whatever. So they gave him enough backstory to justify him being a villain. And then he said from here, do what you want, be irredeemable. And that's what's fun.
Variety is the spice of life, and Puss in Boots' Last Wish has that. You've got your terrifying evil villain with death, who it's scary. He reflects Puss's character arc. You've got obviously your goofy comedic villain with Jack Horner, and you've got your kind of redeemed villains with the Goldilocks family.
Yeah.
So I think
they gave you all the three types.
Yeah, you've got variety, and that's why people love it. But DreamWorks, man. I think for me, Puss in Boots: Last Wish is the best DreamWorks film. But I've been going back for a lot of the DreamWorks films as of late, and I've just.
Whoa. Hold up! Did you just tell me that Puss in Boots: Last Wish is better than Megamind?
Yep.
No. I'm sorry, no, Megamind is a classic. I cannot possibly say any DreamWorks movie can beat Megamind.
Megamind is great and really clever with how it subverts superhero films. I will give you that. But I click with Puss in Boots: Last Wish more. And I'll do one better. Mike, do you want what my second favourite DreamWorks film is?
Go for it.
Kung Fu Panda 2.
I'm going to be honest. I've seen the Kung Fu Panda movies, and I do not remember them. I'm going to watch them again soon, because I know they've announced a fourth movie.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to watch them again soon. But I do not remember much from them. I think at the time I just went, mid.
Give them a rewatch, because honestly,
I'll give them a rewatch at some point. Yeah.
Genuinely, I really love the trilogy. The first one, I think, is really strong. Not perfect, but I think it's really strong. The second one, I genuinely think, is almost a masterpiece. I think it's honestly phenomenal. And it genuinely it's another DreamWorks film that makes me tear up. It's like the Empire Strikes Back of DreamWorks, because it's the dark middle chapter. And then the third one is the weakest by far. It's a lot more kind of kiddie, but I still have fun with it. It's still an entertaining film. And also Bryan Cranston's in the third one as Poe's dad, so can't go wrong with that, can you? Yeah.
But I mean, Megamind's still my favourite.
That is fair. Megamind is great.
I think Megamind made my top 10 in my list when I did my 168 last year. I think Megamind was top 10 for me. It was at least close.
I think it was quite.
Such a good.
It was. It was for me. I gave it a high 8 out of 10 on my 2022 list last year. It was sort of around the 60s. Kind of. I mean, I watched a lot of great films, to be fair. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what other DreamWorks films have we recently seen?
Last year I rewatched Shrek 1 through 3. Didn't bother with number 4, but
oh.
No, I felt like I'd watched it recently the year before, so I didn't bother again.
That's fair, yeah.
But I watched Shrek 1, 2, and 3, and my favourite one's Shrek 2.
Shrek 2 is easily the best.
And that's not biased because there's a song in there by the Counting Crows, which is my favourite band. But, Shrek 2 is just, it's so fun. It really, it builds on the first one. The final scene's really good. I say that cover of Holding Out for a Hero might actually be better than Bonnie Tyler's version. That's it.
Oh, I definitely think that the Shrek 2 version is better than the original.
But yeah, it was such a good film, honestly.
Yeah, I love.
Shrek 3 happened.
We don't talk about Shrek 3. We just don't.
It was alright. It gets too much hate. It's not that bad. It's not as good as this.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it yet. All I know is that they play Live and Let Die at the Frog King Harold's funeral. What was that? What's that about? No, Live and Let Die. The thing is, there's like a coffin dance part, right, where they murder people in the street and they sort of put them in a coffin and they do a dance. They should just play that. Oh my god. What other DreamWorks? Oh, Rise of the Guardians. Have you seen that?
once, many, many years ago. When did it come out? What year?
2012.
I saw it in 2012.
Ah, yeah.
No chance I remember anything from 11 years ago that I saw once.
Yeah,
I feel like I think it was okay, but like, you know, if I really liked that, I would have watched it again by now. So
Oh, yeah. Right, so I've just realised we've been recording for about 40 minutes, so we're going to wrap up quickly. But first of all, I want to ask you, this is the most important question in the whole wide universe. If you answer this wrong, the fate of the universe could depend on this. Well, first question, why are you cocking your eyebrow like that on the camera? And secondly, favourite food?
Favorite food? Okay, this is the only right answer. Steak. Medium rare. Chips. That's good. Gotta have steak and chips.
Steak and chips.
And it's... I have like a whole guide for with which steak you order, how to have it cooked. I've just got this whole guide in my head. So like, if you're having a filet mignon, which if you're having it, it means you're flush with cash, honestly, because like that stuff's expensive the amount you get. But you order it rare because it's really tender, it's really nice.
Yeah.
I'd say if you're having like the sirloin, medium rare, because it's kind of like the perfect temperature really. Ribeye, I tend to go more towards medium because it lets the fat cook a little more, gives it more flavor. Rump, don't order rump. Why are you ordering rump?
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not ordering rump.
It's, and then if you're gonna cook any steak well done, I recommend you order the chicken.
I need to, and whenever I go to Nando's next, I need to bring you along because I always order the wrong spice. So I need to bring you along.
What spice do you order?
I think I've usually had like medium spice, but I always just end up getting the wrong one. Anyway, do you want to know what my favourite food is?
Go for it.
Well, you have to find out in the next podcast coming soon.